Hello everyone and welcome back to Dominion. I'm Kale and today we're talking about the Dungeon, a game mode in which you use titans and heroes to battle through floors of enemies. The Dungeon can be unlocked as soon as you reach level 30 and join a guild, and you can find it in the guild menu on the left side of the screen. As you complete dungeon battles, you will earn Titanite. You and your guildmates will work together each day to get as much Titanite as possible in order to unlock and earn Titan summoning spheres. There are a few things you should know before you start the dungeon. First, you should try to have at least one of each element of Titan. Secondly, you should get to know how Titans work. I'll put a link to my beginner's guide video on Titans in the description below. That video will tell you everything you need to know about the basics of Titans, as well as the best Titans and teams to use. Finally, familiarize yourself with the layout of the dungeon. The dungeon has an infinite number of floors, with each floor containing 5 levels. Every 2 floors, or 10 levels, a checkpoint is available. Activating this will set your starting point for the next day, 1 floor back from the checkpoint. If you do not reach the next checkpoint before the end of the guild day, you will be sent back to the last checkpoint that you reached. The first time you beat a level, you will get twice the rewards that you would normally get. The floor layout is a pattern, and it repeats every 10 levels. The first 20 levels of the dungeon don't follow this pattern, but the enemies are so weak that it doesn't matter. There is a total of 5 hero battles and 5 titan battles in the 10 level pattern. Hero battles are basic battles between 2 hero teams. You'll get 1 titanite and 25 titan potions for beating a hero battle. After the battle, your heroes will have their health replenished. Titan battles come in 4 varieties: water battles, fire battles, earth battles, and multi-battles. Water battles only allow you to use water titans. Fire battles only allow you to use fire titans, and earth battles will only allow you to use earth titans. Multi-battles will allow you to use any element of Titan that you want. After a Titan battle, the health of your Titans will not be replenished. You will get 5 Titanite and 1 random Titan Soulstone for beating a Titan battle. Now let's talk about battle strategies. The element of a Titan does not affect any part of combat, but the element of the Titan battle will tell you which Titans you could be up against. Water battles always pit your team against fire Titans, fire battles always put your team up against earth Titans, and earth battles always have an enemy team of water Titans. When you get to high levels in the dungeon, the super Titans will start to appear in enemy teams. However, the lock on who can fight who creates strategies on how to defeat them. Let's go over how to beat each super Titan with the corresponding Titan elements. Araji is the easiest to counter in single element battles, as Sigurd and Nova are extremely effective against him. When Araji launches his special move, immediately pop Sigurd's shield. This will protect your whole team from that annoying stream of lava. The same method is used for Nova. When Araji launches his special, have Nova throw her stun glaive. This will cancel out Araji's special and leave him stunned. It's important to note, though, that the Nova method will not work if Ignis is in the enemy lineup, because Nova's glaive hits the furthest back enemy, and Ignis is the only fire titan that stands further back than Araji. Hyperion is a bit trickier to take down. Using Angus' special to reach the back, as well as popping Avalon's special when Hyperion activates his, is your best bet. Of course, Eden is a great addition to this, but his abilities strike at random, so you shouldn't depend on him. That being said, there is a trick you can use with Eden. As soon as Eden drags an enemy underground, if it isn't the enemy you want, exit the battle. You can do this as many times as you want until you've got the right enemy, which in this case is Hyperion. Enemies that have been dragged underground will be incapacitated for 8 seconds total, so this should give you enough time to take down 1 or 2 Titans in the front. Lastly, we have Eden. The specials of the fire Titans that you'll be using to fight against him are based mostly on pure attack, so the easiest method to take Eden down is to brute force your way through the front line and then take him out. Before you activate any other specials, activate Ignis' special. This will give your team an attack bonus equal to 50% of Ignis' attack stat. Then, activate any other specials you have. This is especially effective if you have Araji, because his special deals a large amount of damage to the frontmost enemy. With Ignis' added boost, Araji can easily mow down the enemy team's front line. While we're on the topic of Titan battles, let's talk about using auto battle. Once you reach VIP 3, you will unlock Dungeon Auto Battles, which will allow you to skip any battles in the dungeon that you have already completed. This is especially useful for skipping hero battles. However, you shouldn't use it on Titan battles. Titans such as Ignis and Nova perform better in manual battle mode, where their specials can be delayed or activated before other Titans. Even going through Titan fights with auto instead of manual turned on is better because you can step in at any time to control your Titans. Now let's talk about methods you can use to get through the dungeon. You may be tempted to rush through the dungeon in order to get as much Titanite as possible each day. However, this is unadvised. The enemies in the dungeon get stronger with each battle, and if you do not level your Titans accordingly, you may find yourself struggling to get 65 Titanite per day in no time. It seems like battles in the dungeon scale with the level of your Titans, since some element battles might be lower power than others. However, this is usually a self-imposed effect. If a certain element team that you have is stronger than your other element teams, you will be more likely to use that one. Therefore, the enemies that team faces will be much stronger than the battles your other teams might have. It's important to keep your Titans leveled up relatively evenly in order to avoid this situation. If you're starting in the dungeon, there's a method you should use in order to get a head start on building your Titans. Complete all battles up to the first checkpoint, but do not activate it. This will earn you 120 Titanite. The next day, you will be sent back to the beginning of the dungeon, and because you didn't activate the checkpoint, all of the enemies are the same strength as the day before. Work your way up to the checkpoint again, and you will earn 65 Titanite. This is well past the minimum that most guilds at lower to middle levels require, and you will be able to consistently get this amount without any problems. It's recommended you keep using this method until you have unlocked all of the normal Titans and have leveled them up to at least level 15, but the higher you go, the less problems you will have with clearing the dungeon later on. This method is also helpful if you find yourself struggling on higher levels. Work your way up to the next checkpoint, don't activate it, reset and repeat until you feel comfortable continuing into the dungeon. After you level your Titans a bit, it's time to initiate Phase 2 of the dungeon guide. This method will allow you to get 90 Titanite per day, which is the highest amount of Titanite I recommend non-spending players obtain normally. First, activate the checkpoint that you've been avoiding. Then wait until the next day. You'll spawn 10 levels before the checkpoint that you activated. You'll want to complete these 10 levels, which will give you 30 Titanite, and then you work your way to the next checkpoint, which will be 10 more levels away. Since this is your first time completing these levels, you'll get 60 Titanite. Once you get to the next checkpoint, activate it and stop there. Make sure to continue leveling your Titans so that the enemies don't get the upper hand over time. There is a final method that you can use to get a whopping 150 Titanite per day. It isn't recommended to use this method every day unless you are a spender and can afford to quickly level up your Titans in order to keep up with the enemy teams, or unless you have built a strong foundation in the beginning and kept on top of it. Even if you don't have strong Titans, using the 150 method when your guild is close to getting more Titan spheres won't hurt. The 150 Titanite method is essentially the same as the 90 Titanite method, but you complete 20 new levels instead of 10. Once you get to the end of these levels, don't forget to activate the checkpoint. There's one final trick you can use to maximize your Titanite earnings, and that is double dipping. Depending on what time zone you are in, you may or may not be able to use this method. After the guild reset at 22 hours in-game time, a new guild day will start, but your Titans and their health won't reset until around 0 hours. This means that you have around 2 hours where you can earn Titanite for the next day, and once the reset at 0 hours takes place, your Titans will once again have full health and be back at the last checkpoint you activated. You can use this method to get some extra Titanite for the next guild day. That's it for today. Do you have a dungeon plan that wasn't in this video? Tell us in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you enjoy my content in general, go ahead and smash that subscribe button too. And until next time, keep on dominating.